Hey everyone, I'm here for another fun time. Just checking my audio here, so pardon the awkwardness for a second. Welcome back to another Sunday edition of my live stream shenanigans. You may notice some things are looking different. It's because I got a brand new Mac Mini this past week and also a brand new monitor to go with it. And also a new webcam, which allows me to do a bit of I'll give you a sneak peek here. Check this out. A little bit of a picture-in-picture thing. The overhead art will look better once I get the lights on. But I'm now using OBS instead of just doing everything on my phone. So OBS gives me a lot more options and variety as far as what I can do. And as someone who has spent the last 20 years working basically in live television, this is a lot of fun for me. So to be able to kind of play around and see what I can do with it. So yeah, so there might be some growing pains as I figure stuff out. These, by the way, these overlay things I just kind of whipped up just mainly to see if they would work. I didn't want to spend a lot of time making stuff and then find out it didn't look or work as well as I thought, but it actually works fine. This was super easy to do, so I'm looking forward to upgrading those in the near future. But I figured it never hurts to start out simple, and if my camera is moving around, because my new webcam has a auto follow functionality that I'm sort of test driving tonight to see if I like it or not. If it's too annoying, I may turn it off, but for now, I'll keep it on. So yeah, let's get into it here. Let's see if my chat thing works. Hey, it does work. All right. So yeah, my next, nope, that's not right. I thought I updated that, so ignore that. Whoops. Anyway, like I said, growing pains. That's not right. My next event is Art Feast. My next event is actually Art Feast on August 16th in Old Town. Back to Old Town for third time. Hopefully third time is the charm. That's kind of a free-for-all as far as what I can sell, so I'm might have some stuff that I don't have at other shows. I haven't decided yet. Yes, I know drinking on camera and mic is very bad. I apologize for that. I won't do it again until I do it again. Anyway, after that, in Brighton on August 22nd through the 24th, I'll be at the Brighton Street Art Fair. What is that called? Brighton Street Art Fair. Yep, so that's in downtown Brighton. And I'm actually returning there for I did it several years ago when it was under different leadership or whatever, which is fine. Sorry, still getting used to the new layout. I also have a brand new huge monitor I'm doing everything on, so it's what am I looking for? Sorry. I had stuff bookmarked on my other computer, but not on this one yet, and so it's kind of slowing me down a bit. Where am I? Creator dashboard. That's what I want. Yep. That's not what I want. There we go. Bear with me here. Like I said, still figuring everything out with the new Ah, that's not good. Sorry. With the new layout and everything, everything's different. Whatever. Anywho. So yes, Art Feast on August 16th, Brighton Street Art Fair, August 24th through 22nd through the 24th. Art Feast is kind of a grab bag of stuff. I'll be sharing a tent with Steph. Brighton Street Art Fair is more your traditional art fair. So Steph and I each have our own art festival, art booths for that. And that'll be just my found cartoon stuff. And then speaking of that, I'll have something new I'm doing with that. I'll get to that in a minute. Just want to get to some other generic things first before I get into that. I want to give a quick shout out to Jimmy from Ultra Mega for dropping this off for me. Not sure if I like this auto follow zoom thing or not, but we'll see. We'll try it for tonight. Anyway, it's a print, Riso print that they did for me because I donated to their GoFundMe to buy a Riso printer to make a community print shop basically here in Lansing. I was happy to do it and looking forward to utilizing it. Last I checked, they got enough. They actually have the printer now, which I believe they probably actually printed that on, and they've got at least one of the colors, if not two, and working on a third. I can't remember, but so congrats to them, and hopefully they get that all finished up. Let's see here, checking my notes. I can't read my own writing. Well, I saw the new Superman movie. That was one of the things I wanted to talk about. I liked it a lot. It was fun. Reminded a lot of the Justice League and Justice League Unlimited cartoons I used to watch, which actually I just rewatched all of them. They're all on HBO Max, and they're still good. So I watched all those recently, and it reminded me a lot of that stuff. Like there were some parts I was like, that would have been right in a cartoon, without giving spoilers. We watched the other night, Steph and I, we watched Death of a Unicorn. Really enjoyed that. If you like horror comedy, I recommend not watching the trailer if you can, and the less you know about it, the better. Because we watched the trailer right before watching it, and I really wish I hadn't too, because it kind of gave a little too much away. And there's definitely some really cool parts in that movie that you don't want spoiled. But if you don't care about spoilers, like I know some people don't, more power to them. Go for it. Man, I cannot read what the heck that note is supposed to be. That's going to bother me. Oh, I know why, because my M looked like an A, that's why. So yeah, I was going to talk about my new Mac Mini, which I always did. So, but to kind of go further into that, when I was looking about I needed a new computer regardless. My Microsoft Surface is like 13 years old, and my MacBook Pro is like 15 years old. So they're like, the MacBook I got like probably 2011, 2012, and the MacBook I got 2013, 2014, maybe 2015, I can't remember. So they're both really old, and I was definitely overdue for some sort of computer upgrade, especially with me getting into all this. Granted, I've been able to do a lot on my smartphone and my iPad, but I was getting really tired of just you know, having a screen this big to look at when doing stuff on my phone. And, you know, I don't wear these for fashion, so you can tell my eyes would definitely appreciate something bigger. So, yeah, so I got a nice big monitor. I got the Mac Mini, and it allows me to do a lot of fun stuff with OBS now and all that. So, the next thing I want to talk about with my Found Cartoon, something new I want to try, and these will probably debut at Art Feast. I'm going to do these things I'm going to call Found Friends, which are found cartoons. They're going to be 4x6. They will not be matted, and they're just going to be little critters. Just like found cartoons, they start as a paint shape, and I turn them into something, but they'll be a blind box sort of situation. It won't be in a box. They'll be in an envelope. I got some really nice like purple envelopes, and they'll just be hanging on the wall. And as far as the other particulars, I'm still ironing some of that out, but I think what I might do is on the envelope say like their name and make up some fun facts, like, you know, they love toast and their favorite movie is E.T. or something like that. I don't know, whatever. And, you know, I'll have fun with it, see how it goes. People did seem to really enjoy the mystery found cartoons I did at my last couple shows. And while it was nice to repurpose some old work, I'd like to do something, you know, more representative of my current abilities, and not just sell really old stuff from like 5+ years ago, and just make new things and have fun with it. And so actually I have some I'm probably going to work on tonight on stream once we get going. I think that's all I need to talk about. So we're going to shift over to the drawing mode here. So just hold tight, because I got to fire up the phone camera and get all that set up. Getting there. Come on, camera, you can do it. Or maybe not. This is the first run with all this stuff, so you know there's gonna be some adjustments here. Let's see, hang on a sec here. Make sure my other camera stuff is. Okay, that's a little better. All right. So like I said, first time, so what I'm actually doing this time, instead of just doing everything straight through my phone like I used to, as you can see, I have the secondary camera looking at me right now, and then I'm actually at my phone connected via USB-C into the Mac Mini, which took some different software programs to get to work correctly. But once I ended up on using Camo, and Camo, and after some initial setup wrinkles, it's fine, works really good. So I don't have to do it wirelessly. I am still streaming wirelessly out of the Mac Mini, which is not super ideal, but the problem is my router is on the first floor, and it would involve drilling a lot of holes, and I'm not up for doing that just yet. So we may get there eventually, but enough chatting. So I used these last time. I got these at Odd Nod Art Supply. They're called Art Dice, and they just have different like kind of drawing prompt things on them. I'm not going to use all of them. Desk still shakes a lot. I'm next on the list is probably a trip to IKEA to get some actual real desk, because this is not really a desk, it's a table. So it's not really, built with a lot of stuff too. Okay, I'll try and draw some cats, sure. Not really built for stability. I mean, it's a cheap IKEA table, so what are you gonna do? But yeah, we can do some quick cats just to loosen up here before we get into things. Man, that's really shaking, isn't it? That's what it should do. Sorry, just thinking aloud about I could actually have my iPad set up across from me here on the table, so I wouldn't have to like look over my shoulder to like check the chat or anything. I mean, I could also have headphones on or something, but then I'd be listening to myself, which I don't always want to do because it kind of distracts me. So yeah, so this is the maiden voyage of the new Mac Mini and OBS, and I mean, I feel it's gone really well. So, oh, here we go. That's better. Sorry, just adjusting my... I will say this OBS is a very versatile program. And this, I mean, I got the base model Mac Mini. I upgraded the RAM to 24 gigabytes instead of 16, but I mean, it's handling this just fine. Yeah. The arm holding the camera it's basically a gooseneck lamp sort of thing, and it has a mount for the phone right there. And the thing itself has a heavy wooden base, so it shouldn't be moving around a lot. But I think because the whole table is also probably not completely level, isn't helping. So that's part of the problem. But we'll figure it out. I meant to actually put this on the other table next to it and then just kind of reach the thing over a little more, but we'll see. It could be also part of it. This floor is not super level because it is a house from the 1940s and it's very old. So, but anywho, but thank you for checking in, everyone. Appreciate you stopping by. I'll figure out a way to have some sort of like music at some point that I can just have in the background that isn't like a copyright thing I got to worry about. So I know there's options out there. It's not been a high priority last week because I've been getting all of this set up. Like I've spent a bunch of hours just learning OBS alone. But the good thing about all that is once you get the initial stuff done, I don't have to start from scratch every week. So all right, let's go back to the art dice here. Let's see what we got here. Now, I'm not going to use all the dice because that's just kind of a little too much. I'm not going to worry about medium. Let's just use all the subjects and then setting and sort of go from there. Let's see what we get. Yahtzee. That's right. Exactly. So we got human child, garbage, seashells, and cityscape. Okay. Figure something out here. The other good thing about this is it's easy for me to mute my mic when I need to. It wasn't so easy when I was just doing everything through the phone. There we go. That's cool. Unfortunately, my D&D group is on hiatus at the moment. The issue when you play with a bunch of middle-aged dads who all have teens and tweens is their summers get busy real fast. No shade against any of them. I get it. Family stuff. It's important. That's why during the winter we play a lot because everyone's home. But during the summer, they gotta do family vacations and sports and stuff. So I'm missing my D&D group at the moment. I actually went to a thing Friday night at a coffee shop downtown that was D&D related. It was actually the staff they were playing, and they had a sign. They were kind of, they had a notice up about it, like you want to come by and watch and just to learn more about it, because they're trying to do more D&D things at the shop. Like they want to do one shots in the future and that sort of thing. And so I just hung out for a bit and watched them, and there were some noobs in the group, and I helped them with their character creation stuff. So that was fun. Oh, you got a week of the group you've been playing with since 2019. That's nice. That's approximately when I started, actually, was like fall 2019. And then COVID hit in early 2020. We shipped to online and did that for like the first several months of the year. And then eventually ended up running a campaign myself for the first time for them, just all over Zoom. And yeah, I would say I'm definitely pretty close with my D&D group, and I'm looking forward to getting back to doing stuff with them in person. That's great that you went to a concert with them recently. That's fun. I've done stuff with my D&D group outside of the game too. Actually, the person who got me into the group, I knew before that through doing Comic Cons and stuff, and he was mentioning his group and a few years ago, and I said, if you ever need someone, you don't mind a total new person, let me know, and he did, and I've been hooked ever since. So that's fun. Looking forward to getting back to it when we can. I'm just gonna do a quick sort of thing here. Nothing super fancy. Let's see here. The pencil's kind of hard to see. When I start doing the found cartoon stuff, that'll all be ink. So again, that's why this is just going to be I started illustrating. The question is, when did I start illustrating? Started doing comics in approximately 2011, because I think I just turned 30 and started doing it. And then, so I was doing mainly comic stuff, like webcomic stuff, from 2011 till about 2018. Then 2018, I started an art festival, so I sort of pivoted more towards what I'm doing now. In one manner or another, I've been illustrating since 2011. So 14 years, which doesn't seem like it's been that long, but it has. I mean, granted, in different incarnations, like I started out just doing like daily gag-a-day stuff, and then I did if you can hear that, it's my cat Rags banging at the door. I hear you, Rags. You can't come in, buddy. And then 2015-ish, I started doing a long-form fantasy comedy strip, Foxes and Boxes, which basically the pandemic kind of killed my energy for that, and I haven't really been able to get back into it since then. But then also at the same time, I started doing art festivals, which I sold and made more at than I ever did at Comic-Con, so it was an easy choice just to kind of focus on that. I still like doing comics. I've been doing them on my Patreon lately. That's patreon.com/Daniel J. Hogan. They go up for paid members first, and then they're public like the next day. So I'm going to start doing more. Just haven't gotten around to it lately, mainly because between starting all this live streaming stuff and then art festival season, it's just been a crazy few months. Like since April, it's just been full speed ahead with all this stuff. So yeah. Not to mention everything else going on in the world, which makes it difficult to want to sit down and draw funny comics. But that's also why I started doing the live stream, because then if I have a dedicated thing where I'm sitting down and drawing for like at least an hour a week, that's better than nothing, and in some cases more than what I was doing. So that's why I started live streaming this, because it gives me an excuse to sit down and just draw. And I'm also learning how to do all this stuff, live streaming stuff too. Yeah, so yeah, sure. I would appreciate any connection. Yeah, I'm trying to build that's one of the reasons I started doing this, was to build my community and following and fans and all that stuff. And again, I could put a lot more time into it, but just between doing all this and art festival and my day job, I just have very limited time. So yeah, any help is appreciated. Wow, calligraphy. I have a lot of respect for calligraphy, because that's, as someone who's always had bad handwriting my entire life, I appreciate good calligraphy. So yeah, there we go. Human child, garbage, seashell, person, cityscape. Ta-da. Cool. Thank you. I will check that out. Okay, let's do some found cartoon stuff. Here's some good ASMR for you. These are my full-size ones. I will not get to those tonight. So these are going to be my found friend things I'm going to try. Let's get out my pens. We're on time here. Okay, about halfway through. All right. Yeah, I will definitely do that. I've been following and lurking on some other artists' channels, and I've joined at least one Discord of one of the artists on here whose stuff I've enjoyed. So yeah, it's again, I want to put more time into it, but there's so many other things going on right now. I don't always get to put as much time into it as I want to. But yeah, I will do that. That's, if I had started, I should have started all this like in the fall and winter, because then I could have been like super focused on it. That's cool. That's neat that you mod for other people. That's cool. Anyway, like I was saying, if this was like the fall and the winter, I would have plenty of time to focus on this. And I'm actually looking forward to that when fall and winter comes. When art festival season is an issue I gotta worry about. And did I grab the wrong? Is this the 4x6? Yes, this is 4x6. That's right. I'm not matting these, but which actually, if I'm not matting them, then I guess it doesn't really matter. But I guess I still don't want to do stuff that people wouldn't be able to. Man, it looks really blue. Hang on a sec here. Can't I adjust my white balance there? Whatever. No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm just, if someone was going to put it in a matted frame, I would worry about stuff being cut off, but it's habit really that I thought, good one. Good job. Good work. All right. Oh, too much. Yeah, that white balance is off. Oh well. I'll fix it next time. Yep, I know. I did some digging, and yeah, I pieced that together. So good to see you again. Yeah, I had that same thought that you were also the only trans person, at least in my knowledge, to ever go to Harper Woods. So, yep. Good to see you again. Yep, I do digital art. I have an iPad. I'll use Procreate and Clip Studio, kind of 50-50. It depends on the project. Oh, okay. Good to know. That's something, now that I know I can make all this work, I want to do more fancy like overlays and stuff, and we'll definitely dust off the iPad for that stuff. But yeah, I do stuff digitally. Just for art fair reasons, all that stuff is not digital. I could do stuff digitally, and I do, and I've sold stuff that's digital art at art festivals, but the main stuff I like to do for that is traditional. But Nothing against working digitally. No, I love what I can do on my iPad and stuff. Procreate is a fun little program. Yep, I was playing around with setting up alert stuff yesterday. Oops. And which I think I can technically, let's see here. I could send out a test one just to show it off. Yep, see, there's the test thing. So yeah, I'll make my, now that I know that all that stuff works and whatnot, I will I'll make my own. Here's my, what was I looking at? There we go. Yeah, I didn't want to spend too much time with like all the making overlay stuff the last couple days and then find out it didn't really work the way I wanted to or whatever. So I just wanted to keep things simple for tonight. And then now that I know how to implement them and how easy it is to do, I'm looking forward to customizing stuff a bit more. I'm a believer in keeping things simple at the start, and then you can always complicate things later. Okay, that's our first found friend. I'll figure out a name for them and stuff and later. So these all start as a watercolor shape, and then I turn them into something. Where are we at time-wise? Okay. Change pens here. hand cramp. Grab. No. Okay. I think this pen might be running out. This paint, you may not be able to tell too well on this camera here, but it actually has some sparkling in it. Yeah, that's kind of what this is. I mean, it's not a dark gray, but it's a purple, and it's got a little bit of sparkle to it. Definitely more apparent in person. Uh-oh. I don't know what I just did. Clicked on something. Okay, last two. That's auto white balancing. I don't want that. Okay, I misread. That's why I misread the thing. There we go. I thought it wouldn't, when the thing was turned off, it was not on auto white balance. Okay, now I get it. I've had to learn like 10 different new software programs in the last 24 hours. So there we go. It's still not. It's still changing. What the heck? Did I not save it? Okay. I don't know why it's my hands are setting it off. That's weird. That's an auto white balance thing that's doing, but I don't know why it's doing that. It shouldn't be. I told it to turn off. Well, whatever. I'll play with that later. Or if that's more of a exposure thing. Whatever. Yeah, I know. Something else I'm going to look into is having background music. There's a way to do it, and I got to figure out where I'm going to find music I can legally use. I know there's options. Again, that's not something I've had time in the last week to figure out. But now that I have all this stuff figured out, for the most part, that's next on the list of things. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, learning OBS is going from just straight into my phone to learning OBS has been quite the learning experience this week. But I'm at least at the point where I can do all this now. So, like, I only started learning OBS on Monday, Tuesday maybe. So yeah, that's true. And I have some. I actually have there's a friend of mine in town who does music stuff. Who we keep planning to get together so we can like make, not necessarily make long form music that I can just keep playing, but at least help me make like, you know, an intro song and stuff, and maybe some other short little things to add. I just our schedules have not lined up lately. Like first I was sick, and then I was okay, and then he was sick, and then I was busy with stuff, and he was okay, and then I was free, and then he's sick. You know, it's a whole thing. Yeah, that is wild. I don't know why. No, whatever. I'll figure it out. And then there was the whole thing at the start, like, okay, I will check that out. Ah, I do enjoy Lo-Fi Girl. That is the type of thing I would like to have playing. Like even a few days ago, I didn't know, was I going to use OBS or Streamlabs, but I decided to go with OBS because that seems more common, and I also like that it is very low resource intense and requiring, and not knowing what to expect out of the gate with all this. I figured it was easier to go with something that didn't require as much power. Yeah, that's what my reading and research led me to believe with Streamlabs versus OBS. Like I heard Streamlabs was a great turnkey solution for out of the gate, but it required a lot of resources and whatnot. But OBS had a learning curve, but was very versatile and simpler in terms of what it required as far as like hardware, etc. So, I mean, once I got the initial hang of things with OBS, like it's been really smooth. So I thankfully just watched a bunch of videos. The stream settings was the main thing I wasn't sure about, but I watched a bunch of videos on that, and it seems to be going okay. Yeah, and also that's also what I saw too, was that a lot of, for the majority, I saw a lot of people using OBS versus Streamlabs. So, and I figure if a lot of people are using it, there's a reason for it. So. now that I got the hang of how Stream or OBS works, like I'm definitely very comfortable with it. Like I've been, even in the last 24 hours, I've learned way more and done more with it than a few days ago. So, yeah. And I did have one instance where actually I installed a plugin from Stream Elements website, and that like totally messed everything up for whatever reason it was. It was like their basic like Stream Elements plugin thing, and I had zero problems with OBS before installing that plugin, and I had all kinds of problems like it like locking up, having the force quit, stuff just not working. So I did everything I had to do to delete that plugin, and haven't had any problems since. So I'm just keeping it simple for now as far as like plugins go. I know there's a lot of cool plugins you can get, but not worrying about that just yet. But so here's all the found friends I did tonight. I'll figure out names and stuff for them and put them in little envelopes, and there'll be a blind box thing, although I guess if they're watching the stream they'll know. Well, I mean, they still won't know which is which because I haven't said what I'm naming them. So, but and I don't have very many people at art festivals yet who are regular watchers of the live stream, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I mean, I saw there's definitely some perks to Stream Elements. Like I did like that they helped you set up like a tip page right out of the gate. That was real nice. So I'll play around with that some more. But yeah, for sure. Yep. Brace yourself. Okay. Well, we're at a little over an hour here, so I'm going to call it good for tonight. Thanks for hanging out as I... That's good. Thanks for hanging out and enjoying this maiden voyage of the new layout and everything. I've had fun using it, and I'm looking forward to seeing what more I can do with OBS and all the other streaming things and whatnot. And good to see you too. Thanks for sticking around and chatting. I appreciate it. Good catching up. And as far as schedule for this week, I should be here next Sunday again, 8 p.m. Eastern. Maybe do something else during the week. Will do. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm definitely figuring all this out as I go. I do want to maybe experiment with seeing what sort of, if any, sort of game nonsense I could do through this. But I can definitely still easily game through my PlayStation, and I still keep meaning to try game streaming through my phone, but we'll see. Yeah, definitely. That's true. I will need a capture card. You're right. But we'll see. Gaming's not a priority. That's why I went with the Mac Mini. If gaming was going to be a major priority, I would have went with the PC. So we'll see. But I have done gaming through the PS4 straight to it, and that's been fine. And it's easy. But anyway, thank you for hanging out. So next Sunday, 8 p.m., more art stuff. We'll see if I do anything else during the week. It'll pop up on my Discord. Feel free to join that. anyone and everyone, check that out. Good night. So yeah, thanks for hanging out, and I will see you later.